Okay, welcome to Noxico. Select a process and then select the credit limit increase application. You would then need to search for your company that you'd like to do a credit limit increase on. See, the system auto-populates information we have in the database. You'd need to provide the customer contact information as well as the contact number. Once you click on continue, you would then stipulate the terms and the credit limit requested. Once you click on the initiate button, what the system is doing is the initial risk checks in the back end. So it's doing those validations that we have pre-built into the database. This function of the credit limit increase normally lies with the creditors team. If they would like to up the limit, okay, the system is doing those risk checks in the back end. And it has been processed. Okay, what happens is the initial risk reviewer would then get an email stating that they need to review the credit limit increase application. Once they click on view results, it would then open up the initial risk checks that have been done in the back end. What the system does on the credit limit increase, it would show you the group exposure. So the potential exposure after the application approval, it would also show the current exposure. So it will look in the database and see what credit limit they're currently sitting on, what is outstanding, and what is currently overdue. And then from here, you can decide if you'd like to give them a credit limit increase. It would also ask the initial risk reviewer regarding the questionnaire. So if you'd like to send them a new questionnaire, for example, if you would like new trade references to be done in order to conduct a limit increase report for that specific application, you can click on send questionnaire, where it would then, once you click on submit application, a questionnaire, new questionnaire will be sent to that customer. But if you are happy with the results, you can click on skip questionnaire, and once you click on submit application, the company would not receive a credit application for completion. So from the findings here, you can then decide if you'd like to send them a new questionnaire or not. Okay. So if you do not require research, so we're not going to do any trade references and update information on that inquiry amount, then you would skip the questionnaire. Okay. Skipping it means the application would then move to the final approver for approval. But if you click on send questionnaire, it would follow the normal process of them completing a new credit application and then it coming into Inoxico, where we would do our due diligence checks, and then it would be sent to the final approval. Okay, I'm going to skip the questionnaire on this one and click on submit application. Okay, the final approval will then receive this email where they can view the results. Okay, this is the correct email that the final approval will receive. Okay, and they can see the quick risk assessment, the score that pulls through from our online quick view, and they can see the group exposure and the current exposure on that specific customer. The final approver can either decline or approve the application for the credit limit increase. So that is basically the application completed. And then you can actually load the increase on your database. Okay, I'm going to take you through the cash application. Okay, this is the company that I'd like to do a cash application on. Once the initiator or requester clicks on continue, they would need to provide the payment terms and click on initiate. Okay, the system is doing the initial risk checks that are built in the back end. So those are the validations that it would look for before you actually submit the cash application to the customer. Okay. Okay, the initial risk reviewer would receive the email to view the risks. Once they click on view results, it would then open up the risk validations that was done in the back end. Okay, those are the initial risk checks. From here, the initial risk reviewer can either decline or submit the application depending on the risk checks. Once they click on submit application, it would be sent to the customer for completion. The customer would receive the specific email and they would click on complete application. And it would open up the cash application for the customer to complete. This is the landing page, which they would need to read through. Once they click on next, it will take them to the payment term, the client questions. It does show them that this is a cash on delivery, but if they want EFT, they would need to discuss with the sales representative. They can also make a note of that in the section over here. Once they click on next, it would take them to the statutory information that is loaded in our database. They can confirm the information and amend if need be. Once they click on next, the registered address would pre-populate. They cannot amend any information on this section. They would need to provide the physical address, postal address, as well as the delivery address. They do have the option to update this information. Okay, let me just update the physical address. Okay, as you can see, the information would pre-populate from the maps. It will then bring you to the company contact information. The customer can complete these fields. And then they would need to read the confirmation agreement to the below. So they need to just confirm that everything is true and correct. And once they click on next, they would then be able to submit the cash application. So as you can see, the cash application is much shorter than the credit application. It does not have all that specific questions like with the credit application. Once the customer has completed the application, it would come through to Inoxico, where we would then pull a specific report for that company and provide a score on that company. It would then move to the final approver, where they would be able to approve the application. Okay, this is the email the final approver will receive. Okay, it does state that this is a cash application, and once the final approver clicks on view results, they would then be able to view the full application as well as the Inoxico report for the specific customer. So this is what the final approver will see, or they can view the full application and our online report, and from here they can either decline or approve that application for the customer. So that's basically the end of the cash application workflow. And thank you.